All right, good morning, everyone. 36th District Court is now in session. I am Judge Shannon A. Holmes, and I am serving today as the presiding judge. Good morning to each one of you. Good to see you. This is our Veterans Court docket, and I'm excited to see all of you on this morning. I have a couple of housekeeping items that I need to take care of. Mr. Boomer, good morning to you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Boomer, you're gonna have to come in and see me. So I'm gonna give you Thursday. You'll have to get here on Thursday, because in order to participate in our program, you're gonna have to be able to do the things that must be done so that we're in compliance. And right now, I need you to come in and see us, but I'll give you until Thursday, okay?
Ma'am, I get my disability check Friday. Is there any way I could do it Friday?
Ms. Robbs?
Yes.
Did you hear, where's Ms. Robbs? Oh, I'm like, I hear her voice. Go ahead, Ms. Robbs. Thank you, officer.
Your Honor, did he indicate there was an issue with Thursday? Or would he be, would Mr. Bowman, would you be able to, good morning, Your Honor, Evan Robbs, Federal Treatment Court Case Manager. Mr. Boomer?
Yes, ma'am.
He's asking for Friday because he gets paid on Friday.
That wouldn't be a problem, Mr. Boomer, if that's okay.
Yes, if it's good with you, it's good with me. All right, so you'll come in Friday, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. What time?
Ms. Robbs, what's a good time for you?
Your Honor, if he can be here at least by 8:15 so that we can go through some preliminary issues prior to court.
All right, Mr. Boomer, and if he doesn't need to go on the record Friday, that's fine, because I know you'll be pulled 100 ways. So if you want to do them later on Friday, I don't have an issue with that. And then we can give him a court date for next week.
Tuesday, okay. Yes, Your Honor.
You want to do that? So what time?
Your Honor, if he can come in, around one o'clock, that will be fine.
Mr. Boomer, does that work for you? 1 o'clock on Friday?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I got accepted in at the Battle Creek facility. It's an in-house treatment program for 28 days. I've been talking with Mr. Kucheri, and between that and the DOMS program, we're working out the details for both of them.
All right, very good. Ms. Robbs, I know we talked yesterday. Is he able to test? I don't want him not testing, because we need to know what's going on with him. Is he able to test where he is?
Your Honor, to my understanding, after talking with Mr. Kucheri, he is actually testing at the VA facility.
Okay,
So he is actually testing.
all right, and no issues, Mr. Kucheri, let me have you place your appearance on the record. Good morning, so good to see you.
Daniel Kucheri, Veterans Justice Outreach Coordinator for the Detroit VA.
Thank you. Mr. Kucheri, has there been any issues with the results that for Mr. Boomer? Are you getting those issues, those results?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm receiving the results. There are no issues at this time with his EBS ETGs. In regards to his treatment, we were able to secure a bed in Battle Creek. He's very motivated to engage in that program.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his admission date is not until the end of July. So right now, we are trying to discern what is available immediately that will fit into his treatment plan, that will not jeopardize the bed that's set up for him in July. So we have a few options that we're mulling over with his treatment team to see what they would be amenable to. In the meantime, he's engaged in outpatient and MAT, and he's compliant with all of his treatment.
All right, very good, thank you. So then, Ms. Ross, that works out. You can see him on Friday. I can put him on for next week, Tuesday. We will probably have an update, a better update, Mr. Kucheri, some answers, we hope. I know it's out of your hands, but we hope we can have some additional information for him, and then we'll go from there. How does that sound, Mr. Boomer?
It sounds great, Your Honor.
All right, great. Ms. Robs? Sounds good. All right, very good. I did not put your case number on the record. 220-566-1001. State your full name for me, Mr. Boomer.
Stephen Paul Boomer.
All right, very good. And so, Mr. Boomer, you know that you're gonna be here on Friday, July 1st, 2022 at 1:00 p.m. You're coming to see Ms. Robs. So you can come to the courtroom 133, someone will be here and you can ask for her, or you can ask for her at the front, the security team at the front of the building, but you're going to see Ms. Robs, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes, Your
right,
Honor.
very good. And I'm glad that you are motivated about going and getting services in Battle Creek.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much for working with me.
Absolutely. And listen, Mr. Boomer, the reason we're trying to do something in between time is because, as you know, a whole, 31, 32, 33 days, that's a long time. And so we want to make sure we get you where you need to be as quickly as possible.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your attitude. I really do. All right. Do you have any questions?
With Mr. Kacheri, I need to talk with the VA doing the urinalysis. I have to call them, or I have been calling them and scheduling it, and I need to know what days and how I need to proceed with that.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Kucheri.
So, Mr. Boomer, so just continue doing what you're doing. He's contacting them, Your Honor, his providers to write those orders for the lab work. He's testing out of the Jackson CBOC.
Okay.
His frequency is 3 times weekly because that's what Ms. Ross had indicated for phase 1. And we think that's appropriate. His treatment providers do. He's on UGS, EPGs anyways for his MAT.
Okay.
So it works out that we can do that concurrent at the Jackson CBOC. So just continue to do what you're doing, Mr. Boomer.
How often do I need to do it? I just called them and asked them what was available, and they asked me what days I'd like, and I didn't know what to answer.
No, it can't be what days he'd like. So, Mr. Kucheri.
I would defer to case management.
Okay, Miss Robs, he should be at least 3 times a week, random, right?
Times a week, you're on random.
So can we arrange that to happen with the VA for random UDSs?
Yes, Mr. Boomer would just be responsible for following through to make that happen, and I would confirm with the court that it's taking place.
All right, very good. So Mr. Boomer would have to tell them that it needs to be random.
I can put that in my documentation and work with his treatment team as well, but he would be responsible. He would have to receive the lab order. He would have to bring the number to the CBOC. So he would be playing a very active role.
As he should.
Right. And
Excellent.
Mr. Boomer, and I'll be in touch with you after I leave the courtroom so that we can go over everything to make sure that you understand what's expected.
Did you hear that, Mr. Boomer?
I heard that Mr. Kacheri is gonna get in contact with me after your court this morning, and we'll work out the details.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to make sure that you understand all of the expectations and moving forward, what this will look like.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, very good, because your screens must be random, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you'll talk with Mr. Kucheri. We'll get it together, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful. Anything else for Mr. Boomer?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
All right, Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens, anything for Mr. Boomer? I'm going to release him because he's gonna do some stuff with Ms. Robs, and then he's gonna be here Friday.
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, very good. Before I release you, Mr. Boomer, I'd like everyone in the courtroom to join me in thanking Mr. Boomer for his service to this country. Thank you, Mr. Boomer. We appreciate you, and thank you for allowing us to serve you. Thank you. All right, you're welcome to stay, but I'm gonna release you Because I'm gonna see you often this week. We're gonna have some you're gonna have some contact with your case manager often, so if you'd like to stay, you can, otherwise I'm releasing you, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're very welcome. All right, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ficus, I did not forget that I did not place your appearance on the record. Please do so at this time.
Thank you, Judge, and good morning. For the record, Jesse Reed, Drug Court, Vet Court Defense Attorney, P 23863. Judge, if I may, I'd like to make a continuing motion, that my appearance be for all my clients this morning. Thank you, and good morning again.
Thank you, Mr. Reed, and your motion is granted. Mr. Ficus? Oh, you're on mute, Mr. Ficus.
Thank you, Judge, and I'm sorry about that. Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Fikens, P 31894, Specialty Court Defense Attorney, and I would also make the same motion as Mr. Reed.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Ficus, and your motion is granted. All right, Mr. Parker, I see you, Mr. Parker.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jimmy Parker, Veteran Treatment Court Mentor.
All right, good morning to you, Mr. Parker. All right, we are ready to get started with our veterans. And then, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ficus, you should know that there are others in the courtroom as well. Right now, I have Mr. Thornton is in the courtroom. Derek Williams is in the courtroom. Aaron Adams, good morning, Mr. Adams. I see you, is in the courtroom. And Brittany Cooper is in the courtroom. And
Judge,
so I don't know if you need to speak to any of those people. Go ahead.
I believe there are two intakes that Ms. Cleveland told us about and we received documents on. If we could go into a breakout room with either of the intakes to go over the court's order.
All right, very good. I do see a dial in for in-person participants. And so did Ms. Cleveland leave?
I think she's in the breakout room, Your Honor, I believe.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, Ms. Wilson, good morning to you. Thank you for serving on this morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wilson, I'm going to, wait, I have to give you co-host, right? Okay, let Ms. Cleveland know I'm ready to start getting her, if she's ready. I'm going to. Okay, so we'll wait. She'll let us know when she's ready for individuals to start going into the breakout room. Mr. Reed and Mr. Ficus, she's not quite ready yet.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, very good. I am going to start with our veterans. I'm asking that all of the veterans please remain in the courtroom until I have finished the veteran docket. I am going to start with Mr. Adams. Come on, Mr. Adams. Good morning to you.
How you doing?
I am well. Mr. Adams is here in the physical courtroom on this morning. What you doing, Mr. Adams? Come on. Ms. Robs did it. All right, let me place your case number on the record. It's Z8081351. Mr. Adams, please state your full name for the record.
Aaron Frederick Adams.
All right, how are you this morning, sir?
Fine.
That's good. Look at you. You looking all spiffy this morning. Where you going, Mr. Adams?
No, I gotta go to Preston and straighten these eyes out.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still dealing with my eyes, but they got me seeing a lot better now.
Very good, very good. All right, it seems like I haven't seen you in a while.
It's
in
been a
person.
while since I've been in there. You be every Tuesday, but they don't want to see me no more.
Oh, we always want to see you, Mr.
All right.
Adams. Listen, we always want to see you. And so, Mr. Adams, you've been doing well so far?
I fish a lot and dealing with my baby. I bought him a trampoline.
Okay,
Now
just
I
be
can't get
safe.
inside no more.
Okay, get him to come inside.
No, she wants to outside.
There you go. That's what happens when you say kids and trampolines. They never want to come inside. There you go. That's
I
a
fish
good thing.
lot.
You do, you fish?
I fish every Sunday.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Do you catch anything?
I caught a lot of them last week.
And what do you do with them after you catch them?
I just gotta get them. I don't like cleaning them all, so I can have them away.
Look at you, to somebody who will clean them
I
and
look out
use
for
them.
my neighbors.
I love it. All right, look at you, Mr. Adams. Very good. How did you do? We've had a holiday and now we're getting ready to have another holiday. How did you do during the past holiday?
That was what, Father's Day?
Father's Day, we had Juneteenth.
I
Yeah.
had my babies with me on Father's Day. I think I took them to Metro. On
Okay.
Father's Day, yeah. I'm not a father, but I took them.
Oh, that was sweet of
Yeah.
you.
I had to get her out the house. You get a little wild when you keep her in so long.
Okay.
The 2-year-old one.
Oh, I understand it. I
Yeah.
understand it.
She's a handful.
And you didn't have any issues during the holiday with working your program?
Oh, no, I do my program. I won't do that.
All right, I love it. I love it. All right, are you having any difficulties? Anything you're struggling with?
W-240.
W-2.
DD-214.
Oh,
I still haven't got that yet.
all right, Ms. Ross, Mr. Kashara, can you all give an update on that? I know sometimes that can be tricky, but go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Me as well as Mr. Adams have tried to contact the McNamara building to try to get it. We haven't been able to successfully reach anyone that has been able to assist us with that. So we also went online. We tried to do it online. We just been having complications, Your Honor, with regard to that. So I'm hoping that, we can at least progress forward and try to get him the information he needs because he does want to get it updated so that he can see if he qualifies for additional services. I know I spoke with Mr. Kusheri, I spoke with Mr. Scott about it. But there is a time restriction that is preventing Mr. Adams for qualifying for services. So it's not something that at this time, Your Honor, that we can quickly just, to rectify. So there's some additional steps probably that needs to be taken, but outside of that, we've looked into it, we called, we went on the internet, and we have not been successful at this time.
Okay. So what do we do, Mr. Kusheri? He needs his DD 214.
Yeah, Mr. Adams, I know that we don't work together, but maybe after you're done presenting for Honorable Judge Holmes, I'd like to sit with you and maybe we can figure something out, a workaround. I can't help you get a copy of your 214. I can get the data from it. Okay. But it sounds like your main objective is to get eligible for VHA health.
Yeah, I am.
So that is something that maybe we can figure out a workaround. And it might not be about identifying the 214 and getting a hard copy. Maybe there's a different way to go about it. And I'd like to kind of go over that with you. There's some hoops to jump through, but we can talk about what that would look like. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kusheri. There may be a workaround, I don't know, but let's try. Okay, we'll try.
Okay.
All right, what other questions do you have for the team?
That was it.
That was it? All right, wonderful. Miss Robbs, you want to give your update? Y'all sharing that podium this morning.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna make me come out of my skin.
I apologize, Your Honor. Your Honor, as indicated yesterday in staff, and Mr. Adams continues to be compliant. He's compliant with testing. The only thing, and that's something that me and Mr. Adams have been working on.
What's the only thing?
Your Honor, is follow up with outpatient. We have not successfully, we have called the number, we've gotten him set up. And I told Mr. Adams, I said, I'm still judging you because you have to follow up. You gotta follow up with your outpatient. He started a new job, so he's like very excited about that, and I'm excited for him.
I am too.
He remains clean, he's very thoughtful, very family oriented. But when it comes to his own individualized treatment, Mr. Adams, he struggles in that area. So I would like for today, Your Honor, that he hears it from you, because I've been saying it and I have been adamant about it. But Mr. Adams needs to take care of that, because as I explained to him, you cannot progress in a program unless you do you do exactly what your court order states. And he has some grief and loss issues. He lost his stepfather. He has not addressed that. And I've made recommendations for places for him to go. We've gotten on a 1-800 line. We talked on the phone. I fussed a bit with you, Mr. Adams. And I just believe it is just important, especially because of the significant relationship that you had with your stepfather. And I realize that you're doing positive pro-social things to keep yourself busy, but until you address that, Mr. Adams, you know, you have to follow up, and you have to do what the court order says. So that concerns me. And so I'm telling you in front of judge,
Yeah,
because I told you I would do that.
yeah, you did.
So Your Honor, I just really, you know, he's testing compliant. He hasn't used no positive screens, no mixed screens. He's doing everything but just that.
Now, thank you, Ms. Robbs.
Your
Now,
Honor.
Mr. Adams,
Yes, ma'am.
you've been with me since the end of December, right, of last year. And you're not in treatment at all?
I was going to a recovery place, right? But what she sent me just now is a methadone clinic.
No.
That's where I went last week, you sent me to.
Nope. That's
And they wanted me to stay 3 days.
No.
That's where I went, you sent me to,
Nope. He got into qualified behavioral health. They decided that was one of the places that they recommended, because one of the biggest things, Your Honor, was that transportation. I made a recommendation even for Lake Ridge, because I felt like that would be a good fit for him, including the fact that they had the heat program there. And he will be able to engage in that as well as some outpatient services. Mr. Adams indicated, he said, Ms. Roberts, it's too far. I said, I understand that, but we have to get you somewhere. So he like, well, okay, well, can I call the 1-800 line? We called the 1-800 line. They gave him qualified behavioral health, quality behavioral health
on Midbury.
on Midbury.
I went there. They wanted me to stay 3 days.
But you never followed back up with me to inform me.
Yeah, you know, they called me back there.
Mr. Adams,
I mean, she didn't call me back, but I know. I
and
went when
even
told me
if
to.
she didn't call you back, you have the burden of making sure that you
Yeah.
get into your treatment, not Ms. Robbs.
So is that paid once a week? What she talking about?
I'm sorry.
It's once a week?
Well, we don't know what the treatment
Oh.
plan is going to be.
Okay.
The clinician has to tell us what the
Oh,
treatment
okay,
plan
okay.
will be.
I thought it was one of the places once a week. I don't have no problem with it. But she talking about staying 3 days.
You know, so even Your Honor, when I made the recommendation for Lake Ridge, I explained to him, I said, I understand, because one of his goals is that he does want to work on his driver's license. So I said, in the meanwhile, I can work with you. We have bus tickets. I can get you bus tickets if that's an issue. So I would make the recommendation, Your Honor, if possible, that he does get back on a 1-800 line. And he makes that request to go into Lake Ridge for outpatient services so that he can get into, again, the heat program and begin to start addressing those grief and loss issues.
The driver license is paid off. Only
I don't
can
want to
do-
talk about a driver's license. I want to talk about,
All this place.
I want to talk about treatment, because listen, Mr. Adams, when people are in court, they tend to put forth their best, right? They do everything the judge ordered because everybody fears I'm going to jail, I'm gonna get in trouble, or whatever. We want to do more than that. We don't want you to just be in compliance while you're with us on probation for a minimum of 12 months. We don't want you to just be in compliance during that time. We're trying to equip you to be successful in life. We're trying to give you tools to address issues so that you never have to engage with a criminal justice system ever again. We can't do that and find out what those issues are if you're not going to go and get your assessment and get into the appropriate treatment. You see what I'm saying? So you've been with me now 6 months.
Right.
6 months. And right now, we're not in compliance with best practices because you're not in treatment.
Now I gotta find another place to go.
Well, you're gonna get on Ms. Rod's recommendation today.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep him today. Let's get on there to do it, because I'm not gonna just turn you loose and say he gonna go do it. We gonna walk you through it today, Ms. Rods. I know you got your hands full,
Yes,
but let's walk him through it. He'll get on the 800 number today. Let's find out where he will go for his outpatient treatment. Make sure you say to them you have transportation issues, because see, this is what's not gonna happen, Mr. Adams. You're not gonna get that job and put that job before working your program, which working your program includes treatment. Okay? See, had you done your treatment and followed through, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, you're right.
We 6 months later having this conversation. That's unacceptable.
Okay.
So he'll get on the 800 number, Ms. Rod. I want to know what his, where he's going. Mr. Kashiri's gonna sit with him today to work on a workaround to get him connected to his VA health services. And then, I think that was it for him, right?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. Today. And then you'll circle back to me. I'm gonna go ahead and give him his return to court date, but he's gonna circle back to me before he leaves. I need to know what's the plan. Or he just gonna be with me all day?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sure.
got something.
You don't wanna be with me all day, do you?
I gotta go down.
What time is your doctor's appointment?
I'm going to 12, I'm walking,
Okay,
so I'll do whatever.
all right, yes, sir. All right. All right, so Ms. Robs, I'm sorry, Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikes, anything you want to add as to Mr. Adams?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Mr. Adams, thanks for coming in today. I heard your report. I heard some good things. You're doing your testing is clean. That's great. There are other parts of Veterans Treatment Court that you're not doing, and that's the counseling and the treatment. And you need to get that together, sir. You need to get that together. We're proud of what you're doing, staying clean and doing your testing, not missing testing. But you have to do the total package, the total program. You have to follow the court's order. I know you can do it, sir. Okay?
I did too.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. All right, and anything else for Mr. Adams? Let me get a court date, next court date.
Your Honor, if I could do a face-to-face with Mr. Adams, he is in phase 2 for July 12th, 2022 at 10:35 a.m.
All right, Mr. Adams,
July 12, 10.
I'm gonna make sure you.
Okay.
she'll give you the information. All right, Mr. Adams, you done made me fuss a little bit this morning.
I see.
All right, let's get it together though.
I will.
All right. All right, I need everybody in the courtroom to join me in thanking Mr. Adams for his service to this country. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now help us serve you, okay? All right, let's get it done. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. I am ready I have Mr. Aldrich next on the docket. Case number 210-448-6001. Mr. Aldrich, please state your full name for the record. And before you do that, Mr. Aldrich, Ms. Wilson, if you could place the in-person participant in a breakout room, and which attorney will be going with the breakout room?
I will, Judge.
All right, and place Mr. Fikens there as well. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. All right, Mr. Aldrich, I'm now ready for you. Unmute for me. There you are. Good morning. Uh-oh, you muted yourself again. Uh-oh, Mr. Aldrich is frozen, so let's give him a chance.
I think I'm back on, Your Honor. I've been having all morning, I've been having problems in terms of stable internet connection. It's been cutting off and then it goes back on. There's construction outside where I'm at. I don't know whether they've hit a line somebody impacted Xfinity, but I have you now, and hopefully you can hear me.
We can hear you. You're a little
Okay.
frozen and it's not a great quality, but we can work with it. Let's try it. State your
Sure.
name for the record.
William Edward Aldrich.
All right, Mr. Aldrich, how are you today?
It's fine, except for my technology issues.
That's okay. It happens. It happens. It happens. All right, Mr. Aldrich, I want to know what you've been doing to work your program.
I've been participating in all the planned activities. I've tested, haven't missed one test, and I think all my test results have been negative based upon the information that's provided to me. I've also engaged in a self-improvement program, it's internet related. So I'm moving along.
All right, I heard you say self-improvement program, but I didn't hear what you said after that.
Oh, that I was moving along.
And you're moving along, I believe that's what you said.
Improve and better my situation. Yes.
All right, very good. Are you still meeting with Dr. Alexander?
No, I am not, but we're scheduled to start community, my community service participation.
All right, very good, very good. How'd you do over the holidays, Mr. Aldrich?
I tried to relax and obviously continue in terms of doing reading and other productive activities that hopefully again will lead to a better William Aldrich.
All right, a better way of Aldrich. I heard that, Miss Robs. All right, very good. Mr. Aldrich, is there anything that you need us to help you with? Any obstacles you're dealing with where we can be of assistance to you?
No, Your Honor. I think I pretty much got everything under control, again, except the internet situation. But I'll have that worked out by the time we meet again.
All right, wonderful. Ms. Robs, I'm gonna have you go ahead and give your update.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, as Mr. Aldrich indicated, he is completely compliant with his testing, all negative results. We did have the opportunity to talk on yesterday. He is, helping his brother. I know he made mention of that before, so he's definitely taking up a lot of his time. So he, is just working on his, being thoughtful with interpersonal skills. As he indicated, he's continuing to work his program, and engaging in additional services that he's not even ordered to do.
That's wonderful.
So he definitely stays treatment focused, treatment engaged. I have no issues, with Mr. Aldrich. He's always compliant, pleasant, and just does what he's supposed to do. He's working on, as he indicated, he's working on his community service with with Dr. Alexander. So he did receive that referral. He completed his requirement with regards to the class that he had to take. So, with the 2 classes he actually had to take, so he completed those. He's just doing a great job. I just encourage Mr. Aldrich, to keep up the good work. And, I have no issues to report with regard to Mr. Aldrich at this time.
All right, very good, Mr. Aldrich. Do you have any questions for the team this morning?
No, I do not. I recently had a conversation with my mentor, Mr. Parker, and he obviously has updated me and given me some hints and cues in terms of things to do. So I don't have any questions. And he's helped me quite a bit.
All right, very good. How is your brother?
He's just about a week and a half ago, he is now an amputee. So we're working in terms of trying to provide, and it's both physical and psychologically challenging, having gone through that. He's 65 years old, And it's been quite a journey, but we're all hanging tough and we're doing on a day-to-day basis. I'm doing everything I can to keep his mind and obviously his body in a position to receive the medical attention that to benefit from the medical attention he's receiving, and trying to keep, from a mental perspective, trying to keep his spirits high. So it's a challenge, but we'll get through it.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm so happy that you are in a place where you are able to help your brother. I am. I'm so glad you're in that place. And so I just want to encourage you to continue to help him. Okay?
Most
And we're
certainly.
here. Make sure you're doing some good self-care too, okay?
Yes, indeed.
That's
I
important.
understand. I'm multitasking.
All right. All right. Mr. Parker, is there anything you'd like to add as to Mr. Aldridge?
As he already stated that he's been keeping himself pretty busy, and we did speak and for a while, and he's encouraging himself as well, you know, helping his brother and just keeping himself busy. So not a whole lot more to add. I just want to encourage Mr. Aldridge, just keep on doing what you're doing, Mr. Aldridge. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Parker. All right, Ms. Robs, anything else? And if not, let's get him a return to court date.
Your Honor, I would like to add, I did have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Kushiri, who stepped away for just a second.
Yes.
He did indicate that Mr. Aldridge is completely compliant from a treatment perspective. He has completed all requirements in terms of the outpatient. He did indicate that we wanted me to make sure to tell Mr. Aldridge that if ever he feels the need to come back to the VA, you know, he's more than welcome. The services can be provided. Outside of that, Your Honor, he said he's completely treatment compliant from a treatment perspective.
Wonderful. All right. Give me, Mr. Reed, was there anything you wanted to add?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Congratulations, sir. Good report. You're working the program. And I had a notice yesterday from my internet that Xfinity was working on the internet service. So you're not alone when you talk about the problem that you're having. Keep up the good work, sir. Be safe.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. What's next for Mr. Aldridge, Ms. Robs?
Your Honor, if I can do a face-to-face with Mr. Aldridge on July 12th, 2022, as he is also on phase 2 at 10:35 a.m. So that will be again, Mr. Aldridge, July 12th, 2022 at 10:35 a.m. for a face-to-face.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Robs. Thank you, Mr. Aldridge. I'm going to ask you to hang in there with us. We have 2 more veterans to do, and then I'm going to release all of our veterans. But in the meantime, I need everybody in the courtroom to join me in thanking Mr. Aldridge for his service to this country. Thank you, everybody. That means everybody. All right. Thank you, Mr. Aldridge. We appreciate you, and thank you for allowing us to serve you. Okay?
Thank
all right.
you, Your Honor, and I appreciate you guys providing the service. I'm not sure if you can hear me again. It's going in and out in terms of audio and video.
That's okay. You're good. I'm going to place you on mute. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's go to Mr. O'Brien. Good morning, Mr. O'Brien. Oh, you're on mute. You're muted.
How about
you there? There you are. All right. Good morning. I have the following for you. I have case number 210-611-8501. State your full name for me, Mr. O'Brien.
O'Brien.
Okay, you have some feedback coming in. Everybody else on mute. Let's make sure everybody else is muted. So that may be you, Mr. O'Brien is. All right, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can barely hear you.
How about now?
We're gonna work with it. We'll work with it. All right. How are you today, Mr. O'Brien?
Working very, very hard. I got a couple of medical issues that I, didn't really divulge to the court because I just wanted to handle them. I got half of my disc is out of my spine.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Mr. O'Brien. I am.
So far, can you hear me now?
It's not a good sound.
Okay.
Can you move to a different location? Could you go into a different location?
Yeah, I'm on the docks. Hold on. I'm still on. So she asked.
I don't know if this is gonna work.
Okay, how about the better?
You might have to sign off and come back in, okay, Mr. O'Brien?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Mr. Richardson. Let's go to Mr. Richardson. Mr. Richardson, let me have you on mute, please. I have the following for you. Good morning to you, Mr. Richardson. Uh-oh, you are still muted. I'm gonna ask you to unmute for me.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
I can hear you. Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Richardson.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
Now that I'm here with you, I'm blessed.
You are blessed anyways, and I hope that I don't even know how to respond to that. You are blessed, Mr. Richardson. You are alive, you're well, you have a roof over your head. I know they're feeding you well. You look good. You've lost a lot of weight, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I've been getting my medication and the metformin been having me going to the bathroom a lot. So as soon as food hit my stomach, it goes straight out.
Okay.
But,
all right, but you're healthy, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even though they didn't follow your medical order while I was at Metro, but I got through that and I feel better. I'm treated well here at Lake Ridge. And I thank you for the opportunity.
All right, so Mr. Richardson, let me place your case numbers on the record just real quickly, because there are a couple of things I want to discuss with you.
Yes,
I have SP 106-06801, case number 200-572-3501. State your full name for the record, please.
Desi Richardson.
All right, so Mr. Richardson, I
Yes,
heard
ma'am.
we had a little snafu, just a little one. At Lake Ridge. And I want to, first of all, tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you trusted the team there, that they were looking out for your best interest, and that you came back to resume the care that this court has ordered for you. I just want to tell you, thank you for doing that.
And I thank you, and I thank Mr. Williams also for accepting me and getting a better understanding of what the problem was before he just said, well, we don't want him here. So once he learned what the problem was, as far as my social security number, passing it out over the telephone to 3 or 4 different people, and I just been a victim of identity theft by my own child of $10,000. So, that was hard for me to just give it out to this person, and then you switch me over to another person, and I got to give it out and switch me over to another person for insurance purposes. So I'm not knowing where I can't see these people through the telephone. So I don't know where my social security number is going to. You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
So,
I understand, but listen, Mr. Richardson,
yes,
here's
ma'am.
the thing. There are gonna be snafus in life, right? Things are gonna happen that have never happened before, that you don't understand, and that you may not agree with it.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
what I want to encourage you to do is before you take drastic measures that could cost you your freedom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That could cost you your life if you go out there and you're using, take a moment, breathe through it, and ask some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Ask some questions and get some answers. I understand because I get frustrated. I deal with the VA. I think I shared that with you, Mr. Cashier. I personally deal with the VA. And every piece of mail they send me has my social security number on.
Yes, ma'am.
So if anybody ever gets a hold of my mail, they got my social security number and it drives me nuts. I'm like, listen,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
like, I don't want my social security number all over the world. Can we get
Yes, ma'am.
another number? And so I'm dealing with that. I put some measures in place for those that might be listening and think they're gonna come to my house and intercept my mail. But I have, I have a LifeLock and I have some other things because I've been a part of a security breach. And so I've got some free services that I'll enjoy for 15 years. That if anybody try to even purchase a piece of bubble gum using my social security number, they are going to lock it down and call me until they get my approval. And so I just want to encourage you I appreciate the fact that you came back to the VA. I'm sorry, back to Lake Ridge. But I just want to encourage you that when life starts happening like that and stuff gets shaky, don't jump ship. Stay in, ask your questions, wait to get some answers, and ask questions until you get an understanding. There's nothing wrong with that. Ask your questions, because you got to explain to me why I need to pass my social security number out to 12 people. But don't ask the question, get mad, and then leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay and get an understanding. So I'm glad you're back.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, we staffed with him yesterday. He had nothing but good things to say about you. I want you to know that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
He had nothing but good things to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, he has nothing but good things to say. And so I just want to encourage you, Mr. Richardson. I know you've got your house that you're concerned about and your things that are in your house. And Ms. Rob's gonna have some conversations with you about some things I shared in staffing that about some equipment and all of that. And so I'm not gonna share that on YouTube. Ms. Rob's gonna share that with you in personal, but I want you to tell him exactly what I said, exactly the questions I asked. But Mr. Richardson, listen, the reality is if you don't get the help that you need and you're not honest about the help that you need, you're not gonna have that house anyways.
Yes,
You're not
ma'am.
gonna have that equipment. You're not gonna be able to live on your own because you might not even be here, or you might be sitting somewhere else.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the reality of it.
I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do, Your Honor. I've lost since the last time I talked to you. I've been staying clean. I've had 3 deaths, including the one with the little baby in the freezer. I've had 3 deaths. That was my next door neighbor, where the baby was in the freezer. That's my next door neighbor.
Wow.
I got toys for her children for Christmas. So, that's weighing on me. And this morning, I found out that another one of my associates in the neighborhood has died last night on that fentanyl. A month and a half, I stopped using because a month and a half, a close associate died from that. So I just killed, when I came to court and you said, have I been using? I told you, no, ma'am. I meant that. And you said I wanted ordered that Richardson be tested. Even when I got here to Lakewood, day 1, they tested me. Yesterday, they tested me. I've been clean, Your Honor. Now, what I'm saying to you is, and I'm passing the word for a lot of people that I know, if you using, leave that stuff alone because they not, the chemicals that they mixing that stuff with is a real killer. And when people don't get it until it affects you as an individual. And these were some good friends of mine, the ones that died from the fentanyl. The other death, that little baby, I mean, I've held that little 3-year-old in my arms. Do you understand what that means to me? And to find out that his mother, I don't know what's wrong with you. You could put your child in a freezer.
Yeah. And so, Mr. Richardson, listen.
My whole household is affected by that because them kids play in front of our house. They come in our house.
Yeah. And so, Mr. Richardson, I want to just say to you, first of all, I was very disturbed about any child being harmed. I was disturbed. And so I can only imagine, and I've never met the child, but I'm a mother. Underneath this robe, I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother. And I just happen to be a lover of children even before being a mother and a grandmother. And so my heart goes out to you and to everybody that has been impacted by such a tragedy. And then to have two friends on top of that, or before that, to have died from doing some of the same stuff that you were doing. Mr. Richardson, I hope that all of this is a wake-up call to you to let you know that, you know, life is short, especially when you're not making good decisions. And Mr. Richardson, I want you to think from another perspective. Even if something happens to you out there using, you won't be left behind to feel the pain and the agony that you feel right now. You will be, in essence, doing that to your loved ones, to your children, to your family, to your neighbors. And you're a good guy. I'm certain you don't want anybody to go through what you're going through right now. Am I correct?
No, ma'am, I don't want nobody to go through this here. That's too close and personal, you know.
It is. It is.
Somebody that can't defend themselves. A 3-year-old baby.
Yes, absolutely. And so, Mr. Richardson, listen, you are going to have to deal with that grief, address it. You're going to have to address it.
Yes,
I don't want you to keep it bottled up in, because when you care about people, and that's indicative of the good heart that you have and the good person that you are. When you care about people, you know, and things happen to them, it weighs heavy. And so, Miss Robbs, I want to make sure that Mr. Williams knows that he needs to process and he needs to work through, because 3 losses back to back like that. I mean, 1 loss is bad enough, but he's got 3. So I want to make sure he's receiving the appropriate services to address the loss.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Richardson, you're going to take advantage of those services, right?
Yes, ma'am. I've already talked to Mr. Williams. That's the bulletin board is over there, right there where we went through it yesterday on mental, physical, and emotional things that happen to you and how you must address them and how you must find a way to deal with these different emotions and deal with these different tragedies that happens to you. And a lot of, you know, you have no control over how life things happen in life. You know, like Cool Hand Luke said, I haven't been dealt no cards lately. But whatever I'm dealt with, I got to learn how to handle life as on life's terms. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm handling life on life terms. Sometimes it throws you a blow where it's, you know, it make you buckle your knees a little bit, but you know, you just gotta get up and keep standing and you know, keep fighting, and believe.
Absolutely, and you must.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, you absolutely must. All right, Mr. Richardson, listen, I am glad to hear that you're there
Yes, ma'am.
and that you're working it. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm also glad to hear you're taking care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Well, Mr. Richardson, while you're there, I want you to make sure you're having those honest discussions with your provider.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that you can work through some things, so that when you leave, you don't go back out and use again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Let me hear from Ms. Ross. Ms. Ross?
Your Honor, if I may, I just spoke with Mr. Kushiri. He requests, Your Honor, is that he and one of the attorneys go into a breakout room with Mr. Richardson to address some things, if that's possible.
Yes. Miss Cleveland, you're gonna have to give up that breakout room for a second so that Mr. Kushiri, unless Mr. Kushiri, you can do it on your phone. I don't know.
I'm not sure how I could get Mr. Reed, would I use like my own breakout room?
No. If you dial into my courtroom, then Ms. Wilson would place you and Mr. Reed and Mr. Richardson in a breakout room.
Is there another private space that I can use?
Not really.
And Your Honor, I apologize. Mr. Reed is in the breakout room with my client here almost done. He's just going over the court orders so we can take that off.
Okay, so I'll give you a second to get that done, and then, yeah, okay, no problem. Nope, you're good. All right, so thank you, Miss Ross. Mr. Richardson will go into a breakout room with an attorney after we are finished with this hearing, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
But Your Honor, if I may, just say to Mr. Richardson, I had an opportunity to hear Mr. Sherry talk. And I just want to, concur with Judge and just say, I'm very proud of you, Mr. Richardson, because I know we had some struggle. You've been dealing with a lot. But the mere fact that you did stay and return back to treatment, it just shows a lot that you are willing to take the next step into your recovery process. I do feel for you, honestly, because I do understand grief more than you know. So I do want to just commend you for acknowledging it, addressing it, and trying to find additional, positive coping mechanisms to deal with. So I just encourage you, Mr. Richardson, again, I know, you sometimes we struggle with having someone tell us what to do and how, a court order and not really wanting to participate, but the mere fact that you are doing it, it just shows a lot, so I just honestly just want to encourage you to continue to keep up the good work, continue to be honest and open up about the things, the deeper issues, deeper rooted issues that you're going through. Because where you at right now, you're gonna be able to receive that help, so be receptive, be open-minded to it, and not be ashamed of having an issue at this time. Because right now, again, I want to stress at this time, meaning it doesn't last forever. So continue to work through it, continue to, just to keep doing what you're doing, and again, I'm just proud of you, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, absolutely. And, we did have the opportunity, yesterday, Your Honor, to talk to Mr. Williams about Mr. Richardson. I did get a chance to talk to Mr. Kushiri with regard to him being there at Lake Bridge and setting up some provisions for him with regard to, some of the things we addressed in staff.
Yes.
So they're getting ready to make sure that they set those things up and have that connected with him. So he'll be fine.
Does this have to do with the recommendations? You said there were a lot of recommendations that he had not followed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Lake Ridge is going to get on with us, and so we're not considering the Dom at this time.
Not at this time,
Okay.
Your Honor, because we're getting ready to put some things together and in place for Mr. Richardson.
At Lake
And
Ridge.
make the point at Lake Ridge, because at this point, Your Honor, I think it would be, just if we if there was any changes right now with the level of stability he's getting right now, it would kind of mess up some things.
Okay,
So just to continue that stability at this time for Mr. Richardson, I think that would be right. But just to, just to keep him stable and just working, in a progressive state. So
okay.
we're working together and talking about those things at this time, Your Honor. But I have no issues at this time to report for Mr. Richardson.
All right, very good. Mr. Kusheri, anything you'd like to report out?
Thank you, Your Honor. No, I look forward to meeting with Mr. Richardson in person. That's why I'm here on this day. I was under the impression that he was going to be in person as well. There were some things that we wanted to go over regarding concerns that he had. So I'm really looking forward to interfacing with him in the breakout room. We'll continue to work together as things unfold.
All right, wonderful. So, Mr. Richardson, you're gonna have to hang with me just
Yes,
for a
ma'am.
moment. Miss Cleveland has a client in that conference room, and when he comes out, Mr. Kusheri will be able to go in there, and Mr. Fikens or Mr. Reed, who's going to go in with Mr. Richardson?
I'll go in, Judge.
All right, and so Ms. Wilson, you'll place Mr. Richardson, Mr. Fikens, and Mr. Kusheri. Yes, into a breakout room. All right. Mr. Richardson, do you have any questions for the team before I close out your hearing?
No, ma'am, is the only thing I have is, I've had some questions that Mr. Kusheri, I guess when we go out in the breakout room, he'll have some answers for me. And I'm just glad that God put it in my heart to help me or enforce my strength to stop using the time that I was not in court and to use good sense to maintain that and try to help people that were around me and those that was not had my best interests at heart to keep them away from me, even if it was family. I kept them away from me. So I could be clean because I knew sooner or later I had to see the queen of court, and that's you.
All right.
Very much.
The queen
And
of court, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down.
Thank you for putting a good fear in my heart like my mother used to do, to make me go straight and forward. You and Miss Rob, I appreciate both of y'all from the bottom of my heart.
And we appreciate you, Mr. Richardson. And what I really appreciate about you is in spite of what falling down, you are willing to get back up and let us help you. I appreciate that. There are some folks that fall down and they'd rather stay down and they kick and scream and fight us. And we're just trying to help them back up. I appreciate you. I really do. All right. So we're gonna work this out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very good. Ms. Robs, what's going to be next for Mr. Richardson?
Your Honor, a return to court date of July 12th, 2022 at 8:35 a.m.
And that'll be on Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So, Mr. Richardson, I need you to hang with me
Yes, ma'am.
until we can get you in that breakout room, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Judge, did she say the 12th? Did you say
July
the
12th?
Okay.
Yes, at 8:35 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, very good, very good. Before Mr. Richardson goes, I need everybody in the courtroom to join me in thanking Mr. Richardson for his service. Thank you so much, Mr. Richardson. We appreciate you. We
Thank you,
appreciate you. All
And
right,
I
I'll place
hope
you
I
on mute. Wait.
Your Honor, I hope I look
Yes.
appropriate for coming to your courtroom.
I see you in your outfit, in your leisure suit. I see you, Mr. Richardson.
ma'am.
All right, still my Mr. Richardson is going to dress. Yes, sir.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, I'm gonna place you on mute.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then just hold on and wait for your invitation. All right, Mr. O'Brien, did you get it? You the last man standing, Mr. O'Brien. Unmute for me.
Can you hear me now?
I can without the background noise. Let's do it, Mr. O'Brien. 210-611-8501. State your full name for me.
Marcus O'Brien.
All right, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm putting in the grind very, very hard. There's so much to do, you know, between work, seeing the doctors. I have to have a CT scan, go to physical therapy, 3 different doctors to see. Plus the job is pushing me very hard. I also have a chance to return back to Brighton, a hospital for early recovery, to help out with the new men's house that they have, because I did a lot of work out there in the past. So they're
Look at you.
They offered me the chance to come back out on weekends and maybe do
I love it.
the militech or get help with the didactics. So I've been very busy, and like the gentleman was saying, there's a lot of people who are involved, you know, and who can't pick themselves up, especially right here in this plant. They're dropping like flies. And so I lost a lot of confidence in myself and in life. I'm slowly gaining that confidence back. The hardest thing for me is when things go wrong that I cannot control, okay? That's the hardest thing for me to handle and to accept. And I gotta learn that certain things is outside of my control that I can't handle. You know, I just like to have my hands on everything and my eyes on everything and try to micromanage. And some things you just can't do that with. So even though, you know, I have like a slip disc in my back and they tell me I got a large lump in my prostate and it's painful, you know what I mean? I can't sleep at night. I take some muscle relaxers, but I refuse to take a lot of pain medication. But I keep pushing through the grind. If I walk a certain distance, the circulation will cut off of my legs, the blood, and I have to sit down and let the blood recirculate my legs, and then I can continue my journey. I'm on my workstation right now, as you see. This is where I work at every day, and as long as I'm in this confined area, I'm fine. But when I have to walk like from one side of the plant to the other, that's when it becomes an issue. So for the most part, I'm keeping in there, and I have been in almost lately, either every other day or daily conversations with Mr. Parker. He's been just a godsend to help me navigate through these things as they go along, because it's hard to put it all together, you know, from the medical sense to the legal sense to the family sense. And his wisdom and his guidance has helped me go through all these things. And I appreciate it for him for that. And I don't look at the time. I don't look at how much time this is or how much time that. I just go for what's the next thing is on the agenda. And that helps a lot. So that's it. I go to my meetings. I'm in touch with my family. I got a big family reunion coming up that people bug me about, but that's gonna be in San Antonio, Texas. I really don't want to go to that. I'm not ready. You know, it's
Well, make sure you see Miss Rob so you can get the proper travel authorization. But why don't you want to go if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my family, how can I put it nicely? They're bougie.
Okay.
For lack of a better word. They're bougie, and they make this big ceremonial event. My cousin who's throwing the whole swing thing, her husband is in the NFL. He's a coach now. He was a player. So he got a lot of property down in Texas, and they expect everybody to reach a certain level. The first day is a meet and greet. The second day is a black tie formal, black tie event. And the third day is a barbecue that's going to be at their house or mansion or whatever you want to call it. And I mean, I just don't feel like all of that, you know what I mean? That, and a lot of things I don't tell them about and I don't talk to them about. I love them all. I love them dearly. But there's people in the younger situation, in the younger generations who I haven't met yet. Okay, so that's another reason why they want me to come. And I don't know, you know, I don't know.
Well, I'm certain you'll make the right decision and you won't let other people's attitudes or how they react to individuals change who you are. You just go in the room and be you. That's
Yes.
it. Go in and be you. Yeah, family reunions are always interesting to me. They are.
Who's better than who's got what better than what they got? Well, I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? I got a recovery to worry about. I don't got time for that. You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they don't want to admit that they got problems, but they got problems. And they're not seeking more help for those problems. And so
yeah,
I don't want to even be enclosed in that kind of environment. But they think since they're on a certain level, it's okay. I don't care if you run in the street in Cass Corner or you got a mansion and you're flying Lear jets all over the place. An addict is an addict.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Well,
so,
as long as you're clear about that, Mr. Aubrey, don't let them rub you the wrong way. You go and you meet your family. Make sure you go through Ms. Robs to get the proper travel authorization so that there are no issues, because you will have to test and things of that nature. And she'll let you know what that looks like once you get that request to her. She has to bring it to the team so that I can make a decision, okay?
okay. It's
All right,
like
very good.
later on down in July, so I'll have made up my mind by then. About July, I think it's from the weekend of the 22nd through the 24th of July, something like that.
All right, all right, all right. Other than that, are you working your program, Ms. Aubrey?
Yes, I am.
Are you having any issues with working your program?
Well, there have been some hiccups. Like even recently, as a couple of days ago, Ms. Robs didn't get I got called to drop, and I went. They told me at first I was not supposed to come to that facility. Now, on the weekends, I usually go to Hazel Park, but they're closed down because of construction. So I went to McNichols. Luckily, the gentleman there, Mr. Sam, he knows me, and he allowed me to test. And those, like I said, there's things that I can't control about. But there's been some other things that happen on down the line. But like I say, I've been trying to comply with everything with the best that I know how, and it's overwhelming. Okay, it's overwhelming. But I've been trying to, and I have been, as far as I know, is to meet every goal and obligation that I need to accept. So
Okay.
I just keep pushing.
All right, and so Mr. Aubrey, I want you to have some conversations with Ms. Robs. If there is some aspect of the program that is overwhelming you, I'd like you to have some dialogue with Ms. Robs so that maybe she can give you some helpful hints as to how to manage those things. Because Ms. Robs, right now, what phase is he in?
Your Honor, Mr. Aubrey is in phase 1. No, he's in phase 2.
Okay.
He's in phase 2. So, yeah, he's in phase 2.
All right, and so things should actually be getting better and more manageable. So Ms. Robs, let's have some conversation with him Mr. Aubrey, I'm gonna encourage you to have some conversation with Ms. Robbs about what's overwhelming you, so that if there's anything that we can do to help, we do that, okay?
Yes, I understand.
And still satisfy our best practices, because there are some standards that we can't fall below,
Yes,
okay? All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
very good. Ms. Robbs, what do you have from Mr. Aubrey?
Yes, Your Honor, as Mr. Aubrey indicated, we did have a conversation. As I explained to Mr. Aubrey, it was not an issue. All he needed to do was take a picture and send it to me. That he did have his receipt for his testing at ATS. He sent the receipt to me, it had the exact date, everything was indicated. What it is that when Mr. Aubrey, sometimes, and I think they have to, which was explained to me through ATS, is that sometimes they're a little bit late in putting in some of the screens.
I can't hear right now.
He can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Mr. Aubrey?
No, you're really faded. I can hear the judge very clearly, but your sound is very faded.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, so I was explaining to the judge that me and you had a conversation, and I explained to you that there was no issue, that you had provided the documentation and proof that you actually did test. And it was, there was it was the information from ATS. So what I think we have to have a better, I have to better communicate with you, and I think that sometimes ATS, which is when this book was given to me, sometimes they get a little bit behind in putting in the information. So the information that you had wasn't showing up on the system the day that I actually looked at the results. So I had asked you to provide that documentation for me. But I also told you not to worry. So we're talking about some of the things that's overwhelming you, and I know that that's one of the things, one of the bigger things that have overwhelmed you. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed about that, especially when you're sending me the verification. If there's an issue, Mr. Aubrey, we'll talk about it, right? So I don't want you to get so overwhelmed that you thinking you're doing something wrong and you're providing the proof. Okay?
yes,
So, just kind of, take it easy in that area. I know it can be overwhelming. But if once you gave me that, we were in the clear, and I explained that to you, okay?
yes,
But in terms of everything else, Your Honor, he is completely compliant with testing. There's negative results. According to Mr. Kushiri, he is compliant with all of his VA services. There's no issues there. He is working on getting back to himself, considering some of the things, Your Honor, that he has made mention of in court previously. He's still working as we see. Mr. Aubrey is doing well. He did express some of his health concerns, and that he's following up with those health concerns, which has been confirmed as well to Mr. Bashir. So he's doing everything that he's supposed to do in terms of taking care of himself with self-care. So he's doing great, Your Honor. As indicated, he's in phase 2. I have no issues to report at this time with Mr. Aubrey.
All right. Mr. Parker, is there anything you'd like to report out as to Mr. Aubrey?
Your Honor, Mr. Aubrey is, despite the thing that he, the obstacles that he's facing and some of the things that he's going through, he's quite able to bounce back, and I appreciate that in him, and I encourage him to, and I appreciate the fact that he will call me if he has some things that he needs to discuss or just need to talk, and I appreciate that. It lets me know that what I'm doing is worth doing, and so I appreciate Mr. Aubrey, and I just want to encourage him just keep on doing what he's doing, and as you stated before, it's not falling in the water is not what drowns you, it's staying there. So when you fall down, you can get back up and dust yourself off and keep going, because there are going to be obstacles in life, and we all know that. We all face them. So I just want to encourage you, just keep on doing what you're doing, Ms. Aubrey, and just know that when the storm comes, we can work through the storms. And you're doing great. You're doing great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Rob, so it sounds like there's some follow-up you're gonna do with Mr. Aubrey, especially to get him together about the things that he's overwhelmed with. So with that, what's next for Mr. Aubrey?
You're in face-to-face with Mr. Aubrey on July 12th, 2022 at 10:35 a.m.
All right, very good. Did you get that, Mr. Aubrey?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful. I want everybody first to join me in thanking Mr. Aubrey for his service to this country. Thank you. We appreciate you, Mr. Aubrey. And then, for my veterans, we are finished, Ms. Ross. There are no other veterans this morning. I know I have some dates I need to get from you, but we have finished with our veterans. And so to all of our veterans, again, I say thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for being a part of this program and allowing us to serve you. And at this time, I'd like everyone to join me in thanking all of our veterans for their service. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. Thank you, thank you. All right, you all are free to leave the courtroom. Take care. Take care. I'll see you at your next appointed time. Take care. All right, very good. All right, I need to switch over, Mr. Reed. Thank you, Mr. Parker. You are excused. We are all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for your service today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's do this. I need to shift gears just for 1 second. I think Miss Cleveland, you have 2 intakes on today. I want to do counsel that's here on Atkinson. Ms. Drew, can you run an ROA for Mr. Atkinson? And also counsel for Atkinson, is this the case where, and my memory may not serve me correctly, where your client was supposed to go test and did not get an opportunity to test?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Because he said nobody called him for probation, which no one was ever supposed to call him for probation. We don't babysit here. I give orders, and if somebody doesn't call, then it's incumbent upon your client to be in compliance with the court's order. My order was referring to your client, not to probation.
Your Honor, we contacted the head of probation, Mr. Yancey.
I'm sorry, the head of probation. No, Mr. Yancey was probably just the case manager that happened to be on screen that day. And I asked him to help me out.
Okay, yeah, we did contact by email and by phone.
Okay, so.
Yancey, we were inquiring as to who was a probation officer that would be assigned, and
But counsel, my order was to just go test.
Excuse me, it was my understanding that probation officer assigned would set off the testing for my client.
No, my order was to test. So your client did not test on the day that I ordered him to test, is that correct?
He did test on, are you talking about?
On the day I ordered him to test, the day he was in court, I think he was virtual, did your client go and test? I don't believe that he did.
Wait, I'm sorry, Your Honor, you can refresh my memory. What's the date?
So the first time I told your client to go test was on January 31st, 2022. I indicated that your client must test for full drug panel drug screen today and to sign the release for results. He was in Lansing and he was to test. So I needed a test result from January 31st, 2022. That's the first time. And so I also indicated that your client was to come back and see me on February 7th, 2022. I gave him that date on on January 31st. I did not get test results from the 31st. On the 7th of February, your client failed to appear. He failed to appear.
Your Honor, that was subsequently, we paid a bond.
Oh, I understand that, but you still didn't do my test.
Well,
I didn't ask for money. My order was for you to test, but let me continue to read. Give me 1 second. I don't care anything about money, sir.
Your Honor, the second time around, the bench warrant was recalled. There were two bonds posted. The first bond, it was.
Counsel, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna hear from you, but it's hard for me to read and to listen to you. And I wanna make sure I'm listening, okay? Can you get Ms. Brimage down, please? And let her know it's on Atkinson. She did, okay, very good. And I noticed that you provided some screens. Counsel, did you provide these to Ms. Brimage? Because that's who this was assigned to.
Yes. Your Honor.
Have these been provided to Ms. Brimage?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful, thank you. She's gonna come down and then I'll be ready to call the case. I'll hear from both of you at that time, okay?
Okay.
All right, while I'm doing that, I need to find out if Ms. Robs leaves, because I need to get her dates.
I believe Ms. Robbins is in the conference room.
Okay, all right, very good. And then who is taking care of Ms. Cooper this morning?
I am, Your Honor. We're just waiting to put her on, I'm gonna put her in the 1-800 number as soon as the vet court is there. And then that way she can, and I'm also waiting for test results from this morning.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten those yet.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Good morning, Ms. Brimage. I am well, thank you. Ms. Brimage, are you ready to report out on Atkinson? Are you waiting for?
I was waiting for the results from today from our lab.
Okay.
Other than that, I can report.
All right, because I was going back to the ROA and I know you'll give me a summary of what's going on with this case.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about some other cases and I want to make sure I'm not mixing them up. But I believe that this was a case I ordered back in January for him to test immediately on that day. So I'm looking for a January 31st, 2021. I'm sorry, not 21, 22, January 31st, 2022 test result. And then also, he didn't show up for court. And then he did have an arraignment on the bench warrant and all of that stuff and was connected to you. I ordered him to test the day that he came to court. And that day would have been, let me give you that date as well. That would have been March 28th, 2022, where he was given a 3-month delayed sentence, 2 times per week testing. So I'm looking for test results for January 31st, 2022, and for March 28th, 2022, and twice a week random up until today's date. And so if you're ready to report out, I'll do it, and then I just will hold them until I get the results.
Your Honor, my client did test on January 31st, from all information we,
Okay.
I am just checking to.
Get the results for me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so do this, Ms. Brimage. I have a couple of intakes I can do. If you want to talk with counsel and get whatever information he has, and then get ready, let me know when you're ready on this one, okay? All right, thank you so much. All right, let's do it, Ms. Cleveland. Yes, ma'am, that is perfectly fine with me. Just need to, and I can try to do. Ms. Cleveland, if you're comfortable, I can try to do both. Ms. Drew, can you run me a summary for each one of the individuals that are getting ready to be processed? And you have, this is going to be, oh, we have to add Thornton to the docket. And then the other one was?
That 130, but I think he was put in the wrong spot.
Yes, he was, okay. Because I have staffing on Tuesday for mental health court. And what is Mr. Thornton's first? Oh, Mr. Thornton was the one I had to send back to his judge.
Yes.
What's his first name?
Rahim,
R-A.
H-E-E-M.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's do it. And Miss Drew, I'm gonna ask you to add Mr. Thornton to my docket, please. And then I am going to need. Yes, and all right, that's wonderful. All right, let's start with Mr. Thornton. Are we ready, Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens on the intakes?
Yes, Shannon.
Yes, Judge.
All right, very good. I have the following. For Mr. Thornton, I have case number Z8085571. Mr. Thornton, please state your full name for me. All right, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
All right.
All right, you came back. What happened? You found out there was no better way. Can I say that? Oh, okay. All right. You understand that drinking and driving, drinking and then getting under the wheel of an automobile and driving, that is a serious offense. You understand that?
Yeah, I learned the hard way, getting into the accident, luckily I didn't hurt anybody else, but, I truly, you know, what I'm saying, I hurt myself in the process, pretty bad, I had a real bad concussion, hematoma. Still have mask on my face today from it, so.
So your accident resulted in injury to yourself from
Yes.
drinking and driving.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think it could have been prevented, I never really thought of, you know, because like when it happened, I didn't even know I was in a car accident, so I wasn't aware of, you know, all of the outcomes that could have occurred. I just didn't miss that situation before. You know, it's bigger than anything that ever happened, I see it coming. Been in a position to where you don't see it coming, it's out of your control, but you need assistance, but you know, you're not in that situation, it was an optimal situation.
And so, Mr. Thorne, do you understand that you need some help with respect to managing alcohol intake?
Yeah, I guess so.
You guess or you know? I'll take your guess. If you're guessing today, I'll take it.
I mean, for the most part, when I was a child, that was like enough to me. You know, it's not me to know myself, just for myself.
That you need to do something different.
Yeah, and being that I've been in the treatment program before.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, and the fact that I've been in the treatment program before. So.
You have been. Did you successfully complete them?
Yes.
Okay, so listen, what's gonna be different about this time? Why should we use our resources on you? What's different?
I don't wanna put anybody else, I wanna just have the information necessary to not offend them again, and period, any type of form or fashion, especially, when it comes to, the driving. You know, I wanna get my license, you know, I'll be 30 this year, you know. I'm getting younger, so I need to take the certain steps in, you know what I'm saying, and being a man, a grown man, and, owning up to my responsibilities and holding myself accountable.
Mr. Thorne, are you interested in even learning and working through what may have resulted in your picking up alcohol to the point where you are impaired and then making bad decisions? Are you interested in exploring that at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that's what we're gonna do in this program. We're gonna look at, and you're gonna go through, you're gonna be assessed. And we're gonna look at, you know, not we, I mean, the professionals will look at maybe if there's some things in your past, in your present, that you've not talked about, you've not dealt with, that may be causing you to pick up alcohol to the point where it impairs your ability to make good decisions. Good decisions that could cost you your life because you were injured.
Yes, ma'am.
Good decisions that the lack of could cost someone else their lives. Which means it's gonna cost you your life because you're gonna be sitting in somebody's prison.
Exactly.
Are you willing to explore those things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then if you're willing to do that, I want you here. You said you're gonna be 30 years old this year. That means you're 29.
Yes.
Thank you. That means you're 29 years old. And you've got a whole lot of life ahead of you, sir. Whole lot of life, or you should. Let me say that you should have a whole lot of life ahead of you. But if you don't get this together and work at it, you're going to shorten your life expectancy or your quality of life expectancy.
Yes, yes, ma'am. In the time being that, I don't know if you know this, but I wasn't arrested for this time. I was just, sanctioned to come to court. And in that time, when, not even being supervised by the court, I wasn't indulging in that type of behavior. So, I'm on the right path as far as that goes. You know, whatever the court has to offer, I know it can be of use.
All right, well, listen, I want to work with you if I have your commitment to work the program. You need to know in this program, I don't accept excuses. I don't do excuses. I believe that grown-ups do the things that are important to them. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
You're right. You're 29 years old. The things that are important to you, you get them done, don't you?
Yes,
We find a way, don't you?
yes, we do.
I expect you to do the same thing in this program. I'm gonna work with you. I'm not here to punish you, but there are consequences if you do not comply with the court's order. I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to help you. One of the ways that I'm able to help you is that you have to be honest with me. You have to be honest with your case manager. You have to be honest with your attorney. Because if you're not honest with the team, we can't help you. And anytime anybody prohibits my ability to do my job, I do not do well, sir. I don't, because I come here every day, and whether I'm here or virtual, I'm giving 110%. I'm not here to collect a paycheck. I'm doing what I love to do. I love this program that I'm working with. I love being able to help people in the capacity that I'm able to help them. So when you get in the way of that, oh my goodness, that's not going to be good.
I understand.
Okay, you still willing to work the program?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens, I don't know who went in the breakout room with Mr. Thornton, but Ms. Drew has just handed me. Mr. Thornton has some other outstanding matters here at 36th District Court. He has a warrant in one of his cases entering a vacant building without written authorization. He also has.
This has been years. I mean, I came down here and paid those tickets.
Well, it says that you still owe $50. Is that warrant cost? It is, but did he pay, hold on, let me read it. Did he pay money, Ms. Drew? Because it looks like it says there was a cash bond set, but it does not indicate that it was paid. Did he ever pay? It's you 753-71111.
I believe it, I can tell you, I came down in 2017 or 18. I cleared up all of those. It's never a plea. I don't see a plea taken.
Yeah, so this one, there was never a plea. Yeah, you never came back. So you couldn't have taken care of, well, yeah, there was a not guilty plea entered, and then he failed to appear, and that was it. So no, you couldn't take care of this one. You couldn't pay this one because you didn't follow through to go through with the plea. Now, Ms. Drew, on the case Z8085571. No, that's the one that he's on today. Is that correct? It seems like there was one more that you gave me. That was a traffic, but what about license impaired? Is that a civil infraction as well? Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens?
That is a miss.
What is the charge, Judge?
License, it just said, I don't, there's some initials here. Ms. Drew, just pull it up for me. SP 134-24751.
Okay, this is a misdemeanors. It says driver's license number 1.
All right, and so I need the ROA on that one. I got duplicate ROAs. Let me get that.
Judge, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Reed?
yes, Judge, thank you. If I may, I talked to Mr. Thornton. If Mr. Thornton has any outstanding warrants, I would ask the court to recall the warrants. We'd asked him to be arraigned. He's staying mute, asked the court to enter a not guilty plea, and we'd ask that these matters be scheduled for a pretrial date on his next return court date to the court for his drug treatment court case. By that time, we'll talk to the city attorney and see if we can work something out. Maybe we can get them added to his drug treatment court contract.
All right, wonderful. It is SP 134-24751. Oh, there you go. Good morning, Mr. Griffin. Okay, Mr. What do I have here? I have this one. I need count 2 to this one and count 3. And then this one that you gave me that's in warrant status, it's not on this printout.
It's not, and I think it's because it's not under his license number.
Okay, and that may be it. Yeah. All right, and so he has, okay, that's counts 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of those are pending. He's not in warrant status, it looks like. He's scheduled with Judge Shannon. And so that's for counts 1, 2, and 3. So right now, he only has this one matter that didn't appear under his license, but same address, same information. And it's in warrant status. And so, Mr. Reed, that is what I'm going to do. I will set aside the warrant. I'll set the matter for pretrial.
Thank you.
And we'll schedule it for his next, what's gonna be his future court date?
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. It would be, today is Tuesday, so it would be July 12th, Your Honor. At 9:45 a.m., we're keeping a Tuesday date.
All right, very good. And so I'll schedule it for pretrial at that time. Now, on these other 3 matters, driving while license not suspended, he's scheduled for an arraignment, and then he has 2. One is no insurance. He's scheduled for an arraignment with Judge Sherman. That's not until August. And then on count 3, that's scheduled for hearing. This one is a civil infraction. And so, Mr. Reed, do you want to arraign him on these 3 matters and then set these also for pretrial for when he comes back in 2 weeks?
Yes, Judge, thank you. We would appreciate the.
Let me place the case numbers on the record real quickly. I have, and I need you to add these to my docket, Ms. Drew. SP 134-2475, counts 1, 2, and 3. Go right ahead, Mr. Let me have your client state your full name for the record. All right, thank you. Mr. Reed?
Yes, Judge, thank you. For arraignment purposes, my client would stand mute. We've waived formal reading of the information. We'd ask that a not guilty plea be entered, and we'd ask that these matters be scheduled for the next appropriate date, which we're asking for a pretrial date, Your Honor.
All right, I will make the date July 12th, 2022, and that will be at 9:45 as to all 3 matters. All right, so Mr. Reed, thank you for your motion. That gets them squared away. And with that, I am ready. So you don't have any warrants out for you right now, okay? But now that you're with us, you've got to follow through, because all of these matters, with the exception of the civil infraction, unless the people decide to make an offer, if they add them to your contract, they are, or to my court order, they are all dismissible offenses, okay?
Thank you.
All right, very good. And so, Ms. Drew, I have written these up. I'm going to give them to you, and then I'm going to have Miss Cleveland.
Your Honor, that was me that said I can't attest.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'll look at, give me 1 second. Let me just add this.
But you probably didn't see me because I'm hidden behind this microphone.
I lost track of you. That's what happened. So, Ms. Drew, let me give these to you. All right, thank you. All right, very good. All right, Miss. I don't have a message from you. It didn't come through. Oh, let me make sure.
It's on a group, like,
Oh, it just came through. There we go. Mr. Reed, are you aware of your client's results?
Yes, Judge, I did see the drug test results.
So is your client in any, how'd you get here today?
Oh, when I dropped off.
Judge,
Mr. Reed, you had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Thornton, so did you. Ms. Cleveland, are you convinced, or do you believe that he's ready to go forward?
Judge, I am convinced that he is ready to go forward. I had a conversation with him, a good conversation. We went over the order. I believe he understands everything, and I have no concerns about him proceeding with the intake this morning.
Ms. Cleveland?
Your Honor, I did speak with him as well. He did sign some intake paperwork for me, but I did notice that he was reviewing the papers before he signed. Your Honor, he did not know that he was going to have to appear in our lab today, so that's not something that he was aware of. I just want to.
But he doesn't seem like he can't proceed to you, right?
Yes, he's fine.
He's understanding what's going on. Okay, then no problem. Thank you both. All right. Now, you know the substances you tested positive for today, it stops here.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
you're not allowed to use those substances while you're with us. Did you have that talk with your attorney in the
Yes.
breakout room?
Yes,
You had that talk with your case manager, right?
yes,
And you're clear. You cannot utilize those substances, okay?
yes, Your Honor.
At all. All right, very good. So we're gonna go, are you comfortable with going forward today?
Yes.
All right, very good. Ms. Cleveland, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Toshi Cleveland, case manager for specialty court. I am here today to make a recommendation for Mr. Rahim Ali Alex Thornton. He is charged with OWVI as his lead case on his future orders, Your Honor. He is a 29-year-old Native American male. He indicates that he completed as a high school graduate, Ace Academy in Highland Park. Your Honor, he performs odd jobs as a contractor, an independent contractor as a personal chef. He does not have any children, therefore custody status is not something to consider at this time. Your Honor, the participant does want to become part of our specialty court program. He is at least 18 years old, Your Honor. I did not receive an admission of conditions that have brought him before you, Your Honor. However, that may have changed since the time of the interview. Your Honor, he does have prior felony convictions for offenses that I mentioned when we had staffing earlier, but it does not appear to bar him or exclude him from participation in our program. He has not done specialty court programs within the last 10 years. Your Honor, the two substances that were on his result today are his first and second choice as far as usage. And I did explain to him that no substances, narcotic, alcohol, or otherwise can be used while in this program and hopefully afterwards. He is eligible for admission into our specialty court program today, and I would like to make the recommendation that he be allowed.
All right, very good. Mr. Who in the breakout room again, Mr. Reed?
Yes, Judge, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to my client in the breakout room. We did go over the court's order. We talked about drug testing, counseling, community service. We talked about paying some monies, fines, and costs. We talked about the fact he cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. We also talked about the fact that the court has the ability to amend the contract, the order, to change the order, he would be given notice of any amendments or changes. Judge, we also talked about the fact no narcotics, no drugs, no alcohol. He was receptive. I asked him about his driver's license. He said he had a driver's license which is currently suspended. I asked why, and he was honest with me, and he told me he had tickets in Detroit that he had to pay, and he has tickets in Highland Park that like that in Hazel Park that he has to pay, and that's why his license is suspended. Judge, I appreciate the honesty. It's reflected in the fact that he does have tickets in Detroit that we are going to deal with in pretrial. Judge, he is eligible to participate in drug treatment court pursuant to Michigan law. Based upon all the information I have today, it's my opinion that he's eligible to participate. And I would recommend him for participation, Judge. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Mr. Thornton, I've already asked you a series of questions, shared some information with you. Are you still interested in doing the program?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. Do you have any questions for any of the team members on today?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say that I understand about everything that was said to me.
All right. All right, very good. And so listen, Mr. Thorne, you're gonna have, and for both of our intakes today, you're gonna have a great group of people that are gonna be here to surround you and support you. We are here to answer your questions. We're here to make sure you stay on track. We have no interest in punishing or trying to be a hindrance to you. We wanna help you do some things that maybe you've been thinking about doing and you just didn't get around to it. And so if you have some dreams and some goals, you're gonna talk with Ms. Cleveland about those things. Ms. Cleveland has recommended you for our HEAT program. And Ms. Cleveland, that is becoming a part of my order. He will be required to attend HEAT, Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens. And so I want you to go into that therapy and really enjoy it, really work it. He still has to have an assessment. And so I do know you did the 800 number. Did you do the 800 number for him?
He is one of the participants that has to go under, but before he leaves today, Your Honor, he will be on the 1-800 number.
All right, very good. I know we got the needs plus assessment. That's what's on the sheet.
Yes.
All right, very good. And so we still need the D-WIN assessment. But it sounds like he's a candidate for the HEAT program. Let's see what happens with the D-WIN assessment. And we'll go from there. If you don't have any questions, I want to welcome you. You're going to see a lot of me, a lot of the team, but it's going to be a good thing. I'm glad that you came in today. You should be able to do virtual unless Ms. Cleveland tells you otherwise. You must have a working phone number or the ability for Ms. Cleveland to be in touch with you or for you to be in contact with Ms. Cleveland, okay? Because she has to update you on if the judge decides to do a random, she's got to be able to get to you. And you've got to answer, because not answering, remember, I don't do excuses, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. I'm glad you've decided to do the program. I did speak with Judge Sherman. She's rooting for you. She believes that you need to be here and that this can help you. She does not believe that jail is the appropriate place for you to be, but that you should be addressing some issues while you're 29 so that you're not making decisions at 49 that could impact the rest of your life, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if no questions, Mr. Reed, did you determine that your client is eligible? I believe you said yes. I just want to make sure.
Yes, Judge, I did say yes. I did say yes. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Ms. Cleveland, did you find out whether or not your client is a substantial threat to the public or if he's ever been a violent offender?
Your Honor, I did report that he does have a history with the system, the criminal justice system. However, I do not feel that he is a substantial threat to the community at this time.
All right, wonderful. Then you are in our program. It starts today. When you see me in 2 weeks on July 12th at 9:45, you know what, Miss? Yeah, 9:45 is good.
Yes.
At 9:45 a.m., there's some things I'm going to expect you to have done, including your random testing and some other things that Ms. Cleveland will share with you. Because we start today. The program starts today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, no questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna have you have a seat. until Ms. Cleveland is ready to release you. So glad to meet you. All right, Ms. Brimage, I need to indulge me for 1 second. Ms. Brimage, are you ready on your counsel? You ready? All right, let's do it. All right, I am ready on case number, counsel. I'll have you and your client, once the podium is wiped down, if you could come to the podium. Thank you so much. I have case number U460-429-18. Counsel, your appearance.
Hello, Your Honor, Jeff Frechette, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Lucas Atkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Atkinson. Could you please state your name for the record?
Lucas Atkinson.
Thank you. Ms. Brimage?
Jasmine Brimage on behalf of the probation department.
All right, thank you, and thank you for coming down, Ms. Brimage. I am ready to be updated on Mr. Atkinson. I told you there were some things that I was looking for as to Mr. Atkinson, so I'm ready.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Atkinson did screen on January 31st as you ordered, and his screen was negative.
Great.
He also screened on March 28th. That screen was negative also. The ball was dropped in March, Your Honor. We had the conversation. The case was never assigned to me.
Okay.
So the attorney Bashar reached out to me on June 17th. At that time, he said that he had been trying to contact the court. He did show me emails between him and the court clerk at the time, and him and one of the specialty court coordinators. And when I looked in the system, his name was not under me for probation. In the JIS, it just said referred to Ms. Brimage, and the referral never came to the probation department. So he had no contact with anyone from March 28th up until June 17th.
Okay, and so that's unacceptable. I'll address that on this end. Ms. Brimage, was he able to provide that he followed the court's order to test 2 times weekly beginning March 20? Someone please mute yourself. Beginning March 28th?
So, Your Honor, he did not screen until I spoke with you on June 17th, and you said you wanted him to go that day and screen 3 times a week until he reported today. And it was supposed to be on Zoom, but you said he had to report in person today.
Okay, very good. And so, counsel, you see the position that we're in. I need some screens from your client. And I understand, meaning I need screens. I ordered what? That would have been April, May, and June.
Yes.
I need 3 months of screening. So he's only started screening since June 17th, and I need screens twice a week.
Ms. Brimage, the sheet that I provided you, doesn't that have the March?
That was prior to her ordering him to screen. This is for February and March before she orders it twice a week.
Okay.
So counsel, I need 3 months of screening. I need 3 months. And so he started for June?
Yeah,
When?
he started on June 18th.
Okay, so that's still not 3 months. So we need to go to July, August, September, and I'll bring it back in September. And that would take us to I can bring it back September 23rd, which is, oh, no, I need to do it Tuesday. I'm sorry. I'll bring it back on September 20th.
Your Honor, my client had every intention of screening continuously. He has not had a positive screen since Your Honor ordered him to begin screening. At the previous hearing, it was our understanding that probation was going to reach out to my client, and I followed up with the court clerk and Ms. Brimage.
No, not me.
No, I said Ms. Brimage acknowledges that there was a miscommunication between the court clerk and Ms. Brimage. My client is, I don't understand why, this is a 3-month deferred sentence.
It is, with 3 months of testing, and let me explain to you why. That's a really good question. Counsel, my order was not to the clerk, and it was not to Ms. Brimage. It was to your client. You must test twice a week for the 3 months before your review. He didn't do that. Plain and simple. He didn't do it. I spoke those words from my mouth to your client's ears as well as to yours. So whether you got in touch with Ms. Brimage got in touch with you, the clerk gave you some information, the clerk didn't give an order. Ms. Brimage didn't give an order. Probation didn't give an order. I gave an order. I didn't give that order to the clerk. I didn't give that order to Ms. Brimage. I gave that order to you and to your client. So his failure to comply does not give him a pass because Ms. Brimage didn't get the file or what have you. It'd be different if you weren't here and I wrote an order and it tucked it somewhere and no one forwarded it to Ms. Brimage, but that's not what happened. Your client appeared in court. So I am ordering testing now through twice a week. It has to be random and it has to be through September 20th. And when you come back on September 20th, that's a Tuesday, so it'd have to be 10 o'clock a.m. Then, as long as your client is in compliance, he'll get his dismissal.
Okay, Your Honor, so what you're telling us is that Ms. Brimage will contact.
No, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm giving you an order, as I did last time. Your client is to test 2 times a week, random. Okay? And so it has to be random. And so Ms. Brimage will speak with you while you're here today. And let's make sure that it depends on where he chooses to test or what have you, that they know that it's random. Okay?
Who's gonna contact my client for the randomness of this?
No, your client will have to call in to see if his color has dropped.
Okay.
Or his number has dropped.
Okay,
I don't know if they're using colors or numbers these days.
He'll continue at APR system, the one he's been going to. But I can do a referral for twice a week, and I can put that in his hand today.
That would be great.
Random.
Okay.
All right, very good. And then that way, yes, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question, counsel. So your client will have to call every day. And it's important that he calls every day, because if I throw in an additional test and he didn't call, that means he's not gonna be in compliance, which means he's not gonna get his dismissal.
Okay. And
Okay.
my client is still living in Mason,
Okay,
so as long as he can test at Adam or a
It's
facility.
gonna be Adam, but it's under APR system now.
Okay.
all right. So I'm ordering again, test a minimum, and I'm gonna say a minimum because I may throw in an extra test. A minimum of 2 times per week. Beginning. Today is the 28th of June. And he's going to do that through September 20th, 2022. His return to court date will be September 20th, 2022 at 10 o'clock a.m. Anything else for my consideration? Ms. Drew, I need you to put these notes in the ROA for me.
When did you say the next court date?
It's going to be September 20th. That's a Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your patience this
I
morning.
just
Thank you,
had
Ms.
one
Brimage.
thing, his screen was negative today, Your Honor, but his creatinine is very low, so he needs to not put some of it.
All right, and counsel, you need to hear this, so there's no misunderstanding when he comes back. Ms. Brimage, go
His
ahead.
creatinine was very low, it was a 35.1, so when he goes to drop, he doesn't need to intake so many fluids. So
You
that-
need what?
Fluids, he
Oh.
consumes too many fluids, so his creatinine is very low.
Which can result in a diluted test, which a diluted test is a positive test, as far as this court is concerned. Okay, all right, sir. All right, good to see you today. You look so nice, both of you. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate your patience. I know you've been here, but we've gotten it together, counsel.
Okay. have a
All
great
right,
day.
you too. Thank you so much.
Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Brimage. All right, I am ready on, good morning, Mr. Griffin.
Good morning, Don.
All right, I'm ready on Mr. Williams, Derek Williams. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Judge.
Wonderful. And then, Ms. Drew, if you could call Ms. Ross and let her know those 1035 cases, I need dates. You have them? Oh, wonderful. Let me place those case numbers and dates on the record. At 1035, I have for Carl Glenn, U 587-67520.
Mr. Carl Glenn, next court date is July 12th. at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, let's put them on for 8:35. Got it. All right, wonderful. And then for Kenneth Purry, U 582-57420.
Okay, Mr. Perry, next first court date is July 12th, 2022 at 8:35 a.m.
It's the 12th as well? Yes.
ma'am.
All right, I was writing a different note. All right, very good. Thank you so much. And that will wrap up the veterans docket. All right, now I am ready for Mr. Williams. I have case number Z 8082461. Mr. Williams, state your full name for me, please.
Derek Williams.
All right, good morning to you, sir. How are you this morning?
Great.
All right, wonderful. You ready to work the program, Mr. Williams? All right. I know I've had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Cleveland when we staffed with respect to you coming into the program. And it seemed like, or at least I heard, maybe I heard it wrong, you could correct me, Ms. Cleveland, that you had some reluctancy about being a part of the program. Or some concerns, maybe.
And so as far as testing, I'm gonna be in there. I'm not gonna have a job in there. So.
Well, I don't know how you can come to that conclusion, because you know what? We have at least 100 cases. Probably 80% of our people are gainfully employed. Probably about 15 to 20% have more than one job, and everybody's able to test. We work with them. You have the courthouse that's available between 8:30 and 3:30, Monday through Fridays, unless the court is closed for the holidays. We also have providers that have early morning testing as well as afternoon testing. And Mr. Griffin, you about to throw in another one?
He's talking about, I think he's going to inpatient treatment.
Yes.
So that's what he's requiring.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't- Oh, okay. So is that what the assessment came back?
Yes, and Your Honor, just so you'll know, when I spoke with him initially for his eligibility, is that?
There's a different note on here, but go ahead. That's why I was confused about his statement. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you, because I'm reading paperwork that says one thing
Yes.
about assessment, and now I'm hearing the total opposite end. So what's going on?
So that paperwork was created this morning, but I had not spoken with him again until he came into the courthouse this morning. And we did have a subsequent conversation about that and his eligibility, which was clarified to me as far as how he wound up getting into the place that he's going is through his own interest, his request, his ask of the 1-800 number. He is asking for that help, Your Honor, and they are going to let him do that. And he intends on going immediately after court today to get that part of his plan started. So I just hadn't had a chance to tell you about that. Then I also talked to him a little bit about the additional service that I'm recommending that could become part of his plan at a later time when he is out of inpatient, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is that, is that the note that I put on there for him?
No.
Oh, may I see that, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And so,
Okay, but I know.
okay, so. So I need you to also have an initial assessment. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Very, okay, now I'm clear.
Okay, sorry.
I'm clear now. Your initial. Okay. To be expected. Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Cleveland. I'm clear now. All right, Mr. Williams, I think now I'm in the right book. I have put down the wrong book and I'm in the right book.
Yes.
And so, Mr. Williams, you are asking for help. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you ready to receive it?
Yes.
All right, very good.
That's all I'm concerned about.
I'm sorry, say it again.
That's all I'm concerned about.
Right now is getting the help that you need. All right, how old are you, Mr. Williams?
29. 29.
You're 29. I want to just commend you coming out the gate. You're young and you're asking for help. Most of the young folks that come before me, they have it all figured out. And they want to tell me how to do it. And yeah, and I rarely get, I can say rarely, get individuals that come before me and say, you know, I want help and I need this level of help. And it's the highest level of help that's available. So I want to commend you for that. And listen, I want to help you. I want, and the team, we want to help you. Are you willing to receive the help that we have available?
Yes.
All right, very good. Who's in your support system? Who's a part of your support system?
My mother and so-called second family.
So-called second family.
Yeah, that's my second. My ex.
Okay.
That's like another family.
Okay, and when you say ex, your ex-wife?
Ex-girlfriend.
Okay, all right. All right, very good. And so you are coming today, you have a charge, as I indicated earlier, and I don't know if I put your case number on the record, so let me do that. I have case number Z8082461. Let me have you state your full name, please.
Derek Williams.
All right, and so Mr. Williams, you're coming to us with a charge of OWVI. Can I get an ROA for Mr. Williams? His case is 130 on the docket today. And so you understand, as when I talked with the other gentleman, that was Mr. Thornton, that was before me today, drinking and driving. There's no winning in that, right? You understand that, right?
Yes.
And you understand that it's a serious offense, right? And you want to get help with that as well as another substance that you utilize. And you want to get help to hopefully stop use and make some better decisions. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So Mr. Reed, Mr. Ficus, he was originally charged with operating while intoxicated. That charge was amended to operating while visibly impaired. And so you are really, really being given an opportunity. I need a summary as well. To get things together, right? All right, and clearly you're ready to dig deep and see what may be some underlying issues, concerns, obstacles, or what have you, to work through those things so that the rest of your life, you won't have to have any encounter with the criminal justice system, right? I appreciate your willingness to do that. Thank you. I really do. I appreciate your willingness to do that. And so, again, and I hope you were listening when I talked with Mr. Thornton. This team, this is not your ordinary kind of probation. Whatever you have been told, believe, heard about court, this is not your ordinary probation. On this particular probation, we're going to work with you, not just with respect to the matter that's brought you here before me today, but also we're going to work with you on maybe some underlying issues that you may have, whether it's homelessness, needing a job, needing education, having education needs, all of those things. And so I want you to be very open about where you are, who you are, and the things that you desire to do, not just with your therapist. Be open there first, because I need the therapist to know so that if they have resources that we can connect you with, that we utilize those resources, but especially also with your case manager. Because then we'll put our heads together and problem solve to help you. Can I count on you to do that? All right, very good, very good. You had an opportunity to speak with an attorney today. Were you satisfied that the attorney answered all your questions?
Yes, I would.
All right, very good. Do you have any questions about the program? You've been with me all morning. It's almost 11 o'clock. You've been with me all morning. You have some questions?
What I'm supposed to do about my medical problem?
So you have some medical concerns? Oh, okay. Are you currently under a doctor's care?
Yes, I am.
All right, and so you should be getting that medical attention. Absolutely.
I will do it if I'm stuck in here.
What you mean if you stuck in here?
Inpatient.
No. We'll work, they'll work together, yes, to make sure that you'll get the treatment that you need for your job.
Including transportation to get back and forth there. They transport patients to their, doctors.
Okay, you're telling me this, but once I get in there and, they can say something else.
Okay,
I'm just
well,
making sure.
So here's the thing, when you get there, because you had not been accepted into our program yet, right? So we have a relationship with Elmhurst, that's where he is.
Yes.
We have a relationship with Miss Alston, we have a relationship with Mr. Talley, I think is there. And so what's gonna happen is, when you go back today, you're going to sign a release. And now Miss Cleveland is going to be the person communicating with them. These are the things that he needs to do, and it's going to happen. We have that relationship, okay? All right, if it doesn't happen, you need to let Miss Cleveland know. But Miss Cleveland's going to be in contact with your therapist, with the provider, to make sure you get the services that you need, okay? All right, very good. Those are legitimate questions. What else do you want to know?
So the testing there, I don't have to pay for it, do I?
The testing where? At,
Inpatient.
no. You don't have to pay for testing there. Okay?
I'm just making sure I'm here for a minute and my phone will do, I get one more check and that's when I have to take care of my phone, so I can get contact.
Okay, no problem. Okay, but you must test. Now, if is he leaving the facility to go out and about?
No, Your Honor, they would be inpatient. That's why he was concerned today, because he wanted to make sure he appeared before Your Honor, because he received information that he might not be able to see you, and he knew he had court this morning. So that's why he's here. He did go yesterday. He sent a message to me, so he knows how to get in contact with me, Your Honor. And some of these things are kind of fluid. Before he leaves today, I'm gonna make sure I get in touch with Elmer's house while he's here, so he can hear
Absolutely.
some of the questions being answered right now.
Okay, how does that sound, Mr. Williams?
Sounds good.
All right, do you have any other questions? All right, Miss Cleveland, I am going to go ahead and let you place some additional information on the record. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm here today to present Mr. Derek Williams for entry into our specialty court program. We received a referral from Judge Taylor on June 21st, 2022. We had the opportunity to speak with him at length, and I think that was where I did hear also some other concerns about entering the program, which he's clarified here for the court today. Your Honor, he is charged with OWVI, first offense. He is 29 years old. He is an African-American male. Your Honor, he has completed his education at Crossworlds in 2012, and he also has some college in culinary arts from Dorsey Business School. Your Honor, he was employed at the time of our discussion when I interviewed him for eligibility, and he has expressed his concern about employment, but I'm very certain that he will be able to gain them. He's employable, he will be able to regain some employment after he pays attention to what the court orders are. Your Honor, he does not have any children at this time, therefore custody is not an issue for him. Your Honor, he reports that he has a valid driver's license to me. Your Honor, he does want to participate in the specialty court program. He is at least 18 years old. He
He does admit to having the conditions that brought him before you today, Your Honor. He does not have any felony convictions for a violent offense per lien, and he has not participated in any specialty court program within the last 10 years. I've identified to the court the substance of choice for him. There are two, Your Honor, and he has had results from the lab that I shared with the court. Your Honor, he is eligible, and I am recommending him for entry into our specialty court program, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Who went in the breakout room with Mr. Williams?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Williams presented as in his approach was very direct with me, and I really appreciate that. He didn't flower his words at all. He was serious, Judge, in both tone and thought. We didn't discuss inpatient because the needs and assessment seemed to differ from that, so we didn't discuss that. I take it, however, from his answers today, Judge, and I'll accept that he wants the help because that's what he said to me. And as I say, I think he's very serious about it, and certainly has because of his seriousness and because of his thought that he's put into it, I think he has a great likelihood of success in this program. I certainly recommend him for acceptance into this program. We went over the court's order about how this court can modify the time. We talked about that. Right, presently it was set at 14 months. It could vary, although the parameters are between 12 and 24 months. He accepted that. I believe he understood it, Judge. He wants to do this program, right? He wants to help himself. And I think he's a good candidate for this program. Thank you, Judge.
All right, wonderful. Mr. Williams, do you have any questions for the team today?
No, I do not.
All right, wonderful. Then I've heard everything that I need to hear. I am accepting you into our program. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with you. As I indicated earlier, I need you to be brutally honest with us. If there's an issue, if there's something going on, if there's something you need that you want us to know or that we should know, be honest with us. That's the only way that we can help you the way that we know how to help you. Okay? I have your commitment to do that?
Yes, you do.
All right, you laughing, I can tell under that mask. What's funny? He's like, she asked for it. What's funny? I'm sorry. Who has a bad attitude?
He said he did.
You have a bad attitude. Why do you have a bad attitude as he's laughing? Why do you have, I'm putting this on your thing. Self-reported. You have a bad attitude?
I need to get the help that I need while I'm in there.
There you go.
For my problem.
All right. So you have a conditional bad attitude, meaning we're gonna work on some things, and hopefully by the time you have worked with us for a little while, and before you leave us, I'm gonna see if you still give the same assessment of yourself. I wrote this down. Self-reported equals bad attitude. I can't believe it. You over there smiling. I just don't believe it, but I get it. But I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that, hey, it starts on the inside of me. It's not everybody else's fault. I've got some things I need to work out and work through. And I hope you'll give us the opportunity to do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
All right, what's next?
Your Honor, I'm asking if, because he will be inpatient and they will verify, I will share with the court once they verify.
Yes, please, and about his medical. How did you, do you mind telling me what happened to your jaw?
Fine.
All right, you're gonna be okay though?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, very good. You're doing everything the doctors tell you to do?
I'm just now getting contact with my doctor. So.
Okay. All right, make sure you follow through, okay? All right, Miss Cleveland?
Your Honor, just so you'll know too, I did advise when he reported that he had this physical condition, that he has to now let his treating physicians know he is in a treatment program, he cannot have any narcotic prescriptions for
Yes.
pain, nothing. So we did talk about some alternatives, hopefully that we can discuss.
There are non-narcotic pain medications that manage pain as well.
Yes.
Okay,
And since he's going to be inpatient, I was hopeful that he could return to court via Zoom from Elmer's house on July 15th, 2022 at 10:30 a.m. Your Honor, I know there's some things going on that day, but hopefully you'll be a good candidate for us
yes,
to have.
that's wonderful. He can come back on July 15th at 10:30 a.m.
I come back here,
No, you're gonna do it on Zoom at Elmhurst.
July 15th, and there.
Yes, sir. And he should get a card that
Oh, yes.
says what his
Yeah.
appointment time is
Mhm.
and with the Zoom number on it, okay?
And a reminder for me too. I will make sure that you know.
All right, very good. Welcome to our program, okay? All right, you're very welcome. I'll release you, Miss Cleveland will release you when you're all done, okay? And if he's done, he is free to leave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
You just have a seat and I'm gonna talk to him.
All right,
Thank you.
are we ready on Miss Cooper?
Ms. Cooper, I believe is still in there.
All right, good morning, Mr. Rosenthal.
How are you?
I am well, how are you?
Very good now.
Good. Miss Drew, can I call my 10 o'clock and my 10:30? 10 o'clock, I will need a, did anyone look at the ROA for the 10 o'clock case? It says review.
Yeah, this is a delayed sentence. Let me make sure, but it's a delayed sentence. He did not pay.
I thought he did.
And no, this one is admit responsibility of a civil infraction for 175. He did not pay.
For loitering?
For, this is for,
10 o'clock.
but this one, Judge, is paid in full.
Was it a delayed
And
sentence?
this one was a delayed sentence.
All right, very good. And is it delayed for today?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
All right,
Judge.
wonderful. I'm calling case number SP 115-117-11 for Muhammad Al Duki. He has paid in full. This is pursuant to a delayed sentence. Therefore, the matter is dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you.
I am going now to the 10:30 docket for Fadi AR SP 133-76601. This was an adjourn to pay for a civil infraction. Did he pay?
No, Judge, this was amended to blockade. He did not pay. He has a balance of $175.
All right, so a default judgment will be entered, but I want to reinstate the original charge.
Okay.
Okay? All right, it's past 10:30. I'm satisfied. All right, the only matter I'm waiting on is Brittany Cooper, and then I need to call Ms. Turner to sign. Can you mute me for just a second? This is a good place to take a quick break, and you can turn the camera. I need to make a call.
Mr. Reed, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
We're just waiting for
Ms. Cooper,
Ms. Cooper. All right.
All right, ready? Let's do it. All right, Miss Cooper, I have case number Z8070821. Give me 1 second. I might as well do a new jacket, right?
Yeah, because she's coming back in.
Okay, all right. And you heard what we talked about in staffing. There were some concerns about whether or not she really wanted to do the program. Did you address that, Mr. Griffin?
Yeah, the conversation I had with her, she was so close to the finish line, Your Honor, that I don't know what happened in that, that period where she got finished. So she still got some things that she needs to work on, but she seems like she's ready to, do this and get this behind her.
All right, very good. Let me have Ms. Cooper state her name for the record. All right, thank you. Mr. Griffin?
Okay, I'm standing in place for Mr. Yancey today. Ms. Cooper, just a little history. Ms. Cooper came into our program on January 29th of 2019. She had a 15-month contract. Ms. Cooper had completed a lot of things within our within the program, but on May 22nd of 2020, she absconded, so she's been in warrant ever since. She was picked up on June 17th, 2022 on some unrelated charges, but she did have a warrant remanded to Judge Holmes, so she was remanded, and so she was released from jail yesterday. Did get on the 1-800 line, Your Honor. So she has an outpatient treatment appointment at Nelson National Highland Park on June 30th at 9 a.m. I'm gonna get her signed up to start that testing twice a week. She did a drug test today, Your Honor, and she was positive for marijuana. She did let Mr. Yancey know that she would be positive for marijuana.
Okay.
Other than that, the conversation, she wants to finish up the program. We do have, she does have enough time with us where we can work at least from a 6 to 9 month. Coming back, we have at least 6 to 9 months.
She absconded in 2020. She came to us in, you said 19. I wrote down the wrong date. Okay.
January 29th, 2019. She absconded May 22nd.
And then we can add COVID time.
Right.
So she could do 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, so we have the time.
All right. All right, very good. Ms. Cooper, Mr. Griffin, what has Ms. Cooper been doing? Is she working? What's been going on with you?
I was working, I worked multiple jobs, but as of recent, I had a knee injury, so I was out of work, but I'm gonna get my doctor's note so I can continue working.
Okay, keep your voice up for me. Okay. So where are you working now? Where are you employed now? All right. Is there anything else that I need to know? Ms. Cooper, you had done a lot of work, because I'm looking at her fines and costs even.
Yeah, she was paid. She got some a warrant cost in the late 20s. I think her balance before she left was like $97. She did her community service. I think one of the last things she got is the Holmes program. But community service, treatment. She did a lot of stuff, so that's why I asked her. I said, "Why didn't you walk away? You got this far in the program."
You did, and then you went back to some old stuff. You did, and you understand that. Well, let me ask you: do you think your life has worked out well for you, and you've gone back to some of the old habits that you had? Hasn't worked out well. Do you see any relationship between some of picking back up and using and some of why things haven't gone well? Do you see a relationship between the two?
It is a relationship, completely.
Yeah, it is. And didn't we try to talk to you about that before?
Yeah.
All right. You had to live it out, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, experience is the best teacher. I think they used to tell me experience. And so I hope, Ms. Cooper, if you're coming back, that you're gonna come back and really work this.
Yeah.
I have your commitment to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Any objection from the team as to Ms. Cooper returning to the program? She has about 6 to 9 months that she can do. And any objection?
No, Judge. I had an opportunity to talk to Miss Cooper last week when she was in the county jail. I spoke with her in a breakout room. I believe she was honest and gave me some good information. I know she told me she was spending her birthday in the county jail last week, and she was unhappy about that. And I know she wants to work the program. I know she can do it. I'm glad she came in this morning. The court released her yesterday and ordered her to show up this morning, and she showed up, and that's a good sign.
Yes,
It's a very good sign.
yes.
And Miss Cooper, we know you can do it. Work program. Thank you, Judge. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Miss Cooper.
All right, very good. And so, Mr. Griffin, you'll get in touch with the nest. You said this is gonna go back to Mr. Yancey,
Yeah,
right?
he'll be back in tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, his 60th birthday. So
Today?
It's actually on Sunday, but he took today off, so he turned 60 on Sunday.
Mr. Yancey took a day off?
Forced.
Oh my God, I thought I have his birthday for, you said Sunday?
It was Sunday.
I missed it. Oh my, I'm still shocked. Mr. Yancey took a day off. Okay.
We made him.
I believe you. I believe you, and
I
I'm
called you
surprised.
last night. I said, you're not coming in, I'll take care of Ms. Cooper, everything is fine, so. Until you guys.
Mr. Yancey took the day off. Oh my God. I'm so happy for him. I am. I'm happy for him. All right. So, and thank you, Mr. Griffin, for stepping in. Yeah, thank you for stepping in.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I was on the line with her, so she has an appointment at 9 just now on June the 30th at 9 a.m.
All right, we should start on the 30th.
Yeah.
All right, then you're in great shape. I want you to get in here and really work it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Your housing situation is good?
Yeah.
All right, very good. No needs, immediate
My
needs?
mom is here with her.
Okay, I see. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. It's still morning. We got a few minutes. All right, good morning. All right.
I'm working this time.
I'm sorry.
She's
I'm
working
working this time.
All right, all right. I need you to encourage her to do so, because this is never gonna go away. It's not. And then when she get picked up or stopped for something, it's gonna always come back up. And you're gonna always have to sit in that Wayne County jail. Yes, ma'am.
I'm really proud of her. Doing well. I'm just glad she's back.
I'm glad she is too. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not happy that she's smoking. And you know, cause I don't care what nobody say. Impairs the judgment. It's a dream snatcher, makes you lazy. I said it. And I just, I want you have too much life ahead of you. You're very intelligent, and I would hate to see you get stifled because you're sitting around using substances of the earth. There are other substances of the earth that we do not use. Okay? And so that's just what I'm gonna say. So let's work it.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing, that was on our very, unfortunately, because I was locked up in quarantine and all of that, the graduation, for the little graduation.
We had a graduation.
Yep, the lady said the Rise Up song, I got that tatted on me, Rise Up, and then it just.
That's a couple of graduations ago.
Right.
Yep, and the lady sang the Rise Up song like on her day. And the thing that always stuck in my head is like, I'm broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and I'm tired.
Yeah, so let's get off of it. The ride has stopped. You know how when you're at the amusement park and the ride stops, but people want to stay on and go another round? Guess what? But the conductor always gives you an opportunity to get off. If you don't want to do another round, get off. So the ride has stopped. I hope that you are tired. That's a good tired. The ride has stopped. You are free to get off. And let's do something different. And we want to help you do that. I have your commitment. All right, very good. I'm glad you're back now. All right, What's next for Ms. Cooper? Next court date?
Your Honor, I'm gonna have her come back on a Monday, July 11th, 2022, 8:35 a.m.
And that'll be on Zoom, okay?
I gave you a Zoom number and everything.
All right. Stop the smoking because she's got a test,
Yeah.
a minimum of 2 times per week, and we're gonna be monitoring your levels. Your levels should be going down consistently. One puff is gonna take your level back up, and then you're gonna have a problem. Okay?
We do have a baseline.
We have a baseline, so we already know what we're working with. All right?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Mom. All right. Mr. Griffin, we'll let you know when you're free to leave, okay? All right. All right, Mr. Reed and Mr. Fikens, this is the moment of the day that you all have been waiting for. We are finished with our, I see you, Mr. Reed. We are finished with our specialty court docket. You all are not with me at the 1:30 staffing on today. And yes, that goes on and on and on and on, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And so I will not see you all again until Thursday. Thank you for everything. You all have done a great job. And I'm available should you need me the rest of the day. I'm here in the building.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. You are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, everybody take care.
Thank you, Judge.